Hello and welcome back to Mixcraft Misery Tarot. I'm Coley and this is where I do my tarot readings. This episode today is going to be about what you need to know about what's going on with your career. So this could be to do with a new job. If you have a job, it could be to do with what's up next in work, or if you're looking for a job, what your next job might be. So it can really mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and that's what's fun about collective readings. So this is group 1, this is group 2, and this is group 3. So you just let me know whichever one you pick in the comments, and I'll give you a second to decide which one you want to pick as well. We can take a deep breath together if you want to kind of center yourself, just figure out which energetically is calling to you because they're all identical this week. It's sort of an intuition test. So, okay, I'm going to give you a second and then you can pause if you want to. But other than that, I will be getting into group 1. Oh, and also just before we begin, I've also, we're going to have our tarot, we're going to have our oracle cards as usual, but I also made these fun little homemade, almost like little oracle things myself, which have like little messages on them that I felt kind of called to read. So I'm going to shuffle and do 2 of those as well as part of your reading. So take your deep breath again. All right, let's go group 1. Group 1, okay, this message is for you. We have a lot of interesting things going on here. We've got 4 tarot cards. We have got some different angel cards here. We've got 2 angel cards, and we've got 1 unicorn as well. As soon as we get to the end, I'm going to do the shuffle, or should I do the shuffle now? What do you think? I'll do it at the end. Okay, so first things first, in your career, we have a lot going on here. We have this idea that you really want something new to happen for sure with the Page of Wands. There's a sense of like needing new horizons, greener pastures, wanting to walk away and go to something different and new. So you might be feeling like you need to leave a job or a situation that you're in already. You might kind of feel like it's sort of run its course and now you need to move on to your next adventure. This could be travel. There's this kind of travel energy going on here. It might not even be to do with work, but you are obviously going to have to like make money in some way. So you need to figure out how to kind of get out of the rut, if you want to get out of the rut, in a way that will still make you, able to live. I feel like it's a dream of yours. It's something you've probably been thinking of for a while, but it's something that you also are scared to take the leap about because obviously it's something that's very big and new for you. We have this vibe here, which is kind of giving this sort of energy of frustration and disappointment with the Five of Cups. So this vibe is very much like feeling sad, feeling unsure. So this vibe is very much kind of feeling sad, feeling unsure, feeling very disappointed by something. So this could be your own self feeling a little bit scared of change or feeling a bit afraid to, continue on doing something. It works both ways. It's like you're sad that you're like, oh my God, is this my life? Is this going to be my life forever? But then you're also, part of you is like scared to do anything that's like taking a risk or making a big change. So you might feel like you need to leave your job because it's like ruining your mental health or something, but you're still afraid that it's a big change and it's scary. But then there's also a part of you that's like, I don't want to stay in that job for the whole of my life. So you're like upset with yourself at the same time. So there's really a double-edged sword kind of thing going on here. So I think really it is about your job, but I think it might be like a little bit of fun first and then kind of continuing on with your job. Or it could be starting your own business and kind of having your own, making your own hours or going freelance or something. So it's like you want to do it, but you're afraid to do it, basically. We have this card here, which is very interesting, which is all about kind of needing to find a little bit more zen. This High Priestess energy is about taking a bit of a step back and to try and realize the bigger picture really with your life. So do you want this to be your life forever? Yes or no? That kind of thing. Also this vibe of like maybe getting into some witchy spiritual stuff too. Maybe you want to be a tarot reader professionally. Maybe you want to be an astrologer, or you want to consult people who do these things to tell you what to do with your life, and that's fine as well. But I kind of feel like there's sort of a witchy connected energy going on here. Like there might be this kind of, I don't know, like calm Zen vibe as part of whatever it is that you want to do with your life. So it might just be you want to have an easy, chill Zen life and you need to figure out how to get there. You can't figure out how to like find a way, see a way. So you're just getting a little bit stressed, basically. You actually are getting a lot stressed. So I think with this card here, it does have a lot of stress and pressure. The Knight of Swords is this vibe. This card here, it does have a lot of stress and pressure. The Knight of Swords, it's all about kind of having a lot of anxiety. You've got this energy here of like trying to, get the sword to kind of swish away all these like negative thoughts and negative birds of anxiety in a way, or your own negative kind of sense of self and thoughts and all that stuff. So it seems like you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure. You want this thing, you can't figure out how to get there. You're sort of in this weird like freeze of like being afraid to do the things that you want to do, but then also wanting to do the things you want to do and feeling like you're late and running out of time and you need to have it done by a certain time, or you should be making so much money by a certain age and all that stuff. It just seems to be like a lot of pressure and stress that you're putting on yourself. So I think stop doing that. With these cards, they are kind of like giving you a bit more of a gentle message. This is very much like, hey, I see that you're really anxious. Like you need to kind of just like chill out essentially and find that kind of sense of zen. Follow what is like what you really do want to do. If that is something that involves like tarot or zen stuff or witchy stuff or whatever it is, go for it. But if not, maybe that could be something you can incorporate into your practice, like mindfulness, meditation, that kind of thing, to make yourself feel more calm. Because it just seems like there's a lot of stress going on here. These cards are very like chill and nice, which is really cool. We have the Serenity Angel card here from the Angel Healing deck by Doreen Virtue. Shout out to me being an OG of that, I suppose. But anyway, we have the Serenity card here. Now, this one came up in another reading I did, and it is all about just kind of finding that sense of peace again and finding that sense of calm. So they kind of speak to each other, these cards, for sure. I think that's really, really interesting. I think that you kind of definitely need to essentially take a chill pill. And also this trust card, which is really interesting. I'm going to read the official definition, but I imagine it's going to say something like trust that it will happen, because that's what I'm really getting here. It's this vibe of like, you just need to trust in yourself, trust in the fact that it will happen, and trust in the fact that you are capable of doing it. You just need to let yourself know that. You need to take the risk and just let yourself do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You fail. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Like, you can always just try again or do something different or figure out a new way, you know? The trust definition pretty much exactly says what I just said. It says believe in yourself, have faith that the angels are with you, ask them to help you, and to lose the fears that block you from enjoying your full, like, truest self. So there you go, really. That's like basically just illustrating the exact point. So I think that the cards and like the message from whatever like source you want to say that this is kind of saying that you do need to just kind of take that leap in your career and do whatever it is you actually want to do, versus like feeling a little bit in a rut or stuck. And then we also have this Wish Upon a Star card, and it says, make a wish and expect the very best. This comes up a lot in these readings, and I think it's a really cute reading, a really cute card to get. But I definitely feel like it is this really nice reminder for you to kind of just be positive about things and make a wish. And maybe it will happen. You know, maybe you're really getting into manifestation as well. That could be something that you're really kind of looking into, especially with this kind of card as well. And it could just be something that like you really do want. So you keep wishing and wishing and wishing about it, but you're kind of getting in your own head and getting in your own way and letting yourself, you know, it didn't happen today, so you're disappointed, or you're too anxious and you don't like, you know, give yourself the full benefit of the doubt and stuff. You know, you might be accidentally shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to some stuff, because maybe you know, just decide that you're not good enough, and then of course you never will be. So, you know, I definitely feel like you need to have a little bit more trust and faith in yourself, and to just expect the best will happen. So basically, do what you want to actually do, and don't worry. It's all going to be fine. Now let's do our little mini cards that I did here. Okay, we have yes, yes, and yes. So I think that that's a really good reminder as well, that things are good and things are coming your way. So don't worry. What is the next one? It says only if you really want it. I don't know if you can focus there, but only if you really want it. Well, that's very interesting. That kind of is basically saying like you can have everything you want, but only if you actually are sure, and you have to really bank on yourself. Because, you know, I obviously run my own business, and I find it really hard sometimes to run a business, because you are like the only person at the end of the day who is there, you know, when things get tough or whatever. So you do have to be the one person who runs the business, and you have to trust yourself, you have to love yourself, you have to know your own boundaries, you have to respect yourself enough to be like, I really want this and I'm going to fight for it, even if it's hard, even if it doesn't work, even if, you know, blah, blah, blah. So one thing that really is a big thing about running a business is that you do need to love yourself. You do need to really, really want it, and really, really trust your own judgment and your own self, and that you can do it. So I think this is just a reminder basically that you can have what you want only if you really, truly do want it, and you're willing to like really take it on board and really do it. And try not to get in your own head too much for the next little while. So there you go. That's your message. How exciting. Group 2, this is your message. Welcome to the what is going on in my career reading, basically. So we have some tarot here. We've got some interesting ones going on here. There's a lot of uncertainty going on in these cards in all the readings. We also have a couple of these little angel cards here. We've got these two. These are cute. And we've got this nice little unicorn as well. And then at the end of the reading, I'm going to shuffle from my little deck of homemade what you need to know now messages. So yeah, that's going to be fun at the end. Okay, so let's go into the tarot first, and then we can kind of, you know, see what's going on from there. So we have the Hierophant to start. I think this is a really interesting place to start, because it's like you are trying to do this whole, you know, mindset, grind set thing, I think, in your career. There might be like a sense of like needing to have that work-life balance, needing to learn about stuff like mindfulness, all that kind of stuff. You might be finding it very difficult to stay mindful, or to meditate, or to ground yourself and things like that. Meditation and grounding are very, very difficult in high fast-paced lifestyles, high intensity, that's what I was trying to say. If you're somebody who works in corporate or whatever, it is quite difficult, right? Or you're like searching for a job all the time, it's very difficult to be like grateful and grounded and be like, yay, I'm so happy for me, I have nothing, you know what I mean? So I totally get that. I definitely feel like sometimes it can be really more difficult than others to feel this way and to have that sense of calm and groundedness within ourselves. But grounding doesn't look the same for every single person. Grounding for me could be taking a bath or a hike or dancing around, but it might be taking, I don't know, it could be for another person, could be something like, I don't know, just general meditation, or it could be singing, or it could be something else. So yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you can ground yourself and a lot of different ways that you can kind of find this mindfulness. Mindfulness as well, same thing. It doesn't have to be being like, I am eating my food, I am relaxing, I am this, that, and the other. It can just be being a little bit grateful, being a little bit slowed down, that kind of thing as well. So if you practice that, if you try a little journaling, that might be really good for you as well. If you are in that spiritual girly kind of vibe, great. That means you're on the right path already. And it seems like there are a lot of cool things ahead, but you are a little bit standing in your own way, just a little bit, like not much, but just a little bit. So we have this really exciting. This is what you want to get in a career reading for sure. The Page of Pentacles. So there's an opportunity coming your way regarding work. So that's very, very exciting. It seems like there's going to be this new opportunity coming your way. We've got this like signpost thing going on here. We've also got him, you can't really see it, but he's like flipping a coin, and there's like these two roads in the wood and like the signpost telling you to go either way. So there is a little bit of an opportunity that comes with a choice kind of thing going on here. So I don't know if that means that that you need to maybe think about whether you want to stay somewhere or go somewhere, or there's two opportunities to go to do different places or whatever it is, but it just seems like there's a lot going on there for you in terms of choice. That's a great thing. However, it can be a little overwhelming and you can get a little bit in your head, I think, sometimes with this kind of thing. We've got this icon always coming up in my readings, this Seven of Cups. This vibe is about indecision. You can see it there. She is very confused. She has a lot of options. She doesn't know which one to go with. And that makes a lot of sense because they're both good options. That's the thing. They're both things that could land you in very lucrative positions eventually. If you already have a job, this could be like a promotion, but maybe you like the team that you're with already, or a lateral move, or maybe you get headhunted. But it's like, and then you're like, should I stay, should I go, that kind of thing. But yeah, whatever it is, you actually are very much of two minds about it. There's like that flipping the coin kind of thing, and then also like all these cups that like you don't know which one to pick from. So definitely don't get too in your head with this. It seems like you don't actually genuinely know which way to go. I don't know why that is. They must be two very good things. So I mean, lucky you, I suppose. But also that's annoying too, and you can't like figure out where to go in your life. So I totally understand, like being at a fork in the road is very stressful. So then we have this Justice card to finish off with the tarot. And I think that's very interesting because it is kind of speaking to that balance, speaking to finding that sense of balance. There we go, like the scales. It's interesting too because they kind of speak to each other, I always feel, because they're like, that's like find your zen, find your balance, and this is like or else. So yeah, very much that. So you do need to kind of find yourself a way to make these decisions. It's not gonna stick around forever. You do need to make a choice. We've got the scales of justice need to be tipped in one way or the other. But I do think that whatever the choice is that will be made, it will be a good choice because it's a positive card, but also because I just feel like it will be the right thing to do, like morally. I know that sounds like very specific, but it seems like there is this kind of like, it makes a lot of sense with you, like as a person, to be doing this thing that you want to do, that like the opportunity is for. So I don't know if that makes any sense for you, but it probably will for some of you. But yeah, so that's very interesting. And I think with these two, there's like that kind of vibe of like, it's sort of like it's deserved, like you've worked hard and now it's deserved, that kind of thing. So good for you. I love that. So the next cards we're going to look at are the angel cards. We've got the healing card, which is very cute. And then we also have this, I love that imagery of like the angel playing with your hair. So nice. And then we have the forgiveness card. So that's very interesting. They're two kind of like sides of the same coin in a certain way. With the healing card, I'm just going to read what it says so we can kind of have it specific. So the healing card says, a situation that caused you concern is on the mend. You are a natural healer and your healing thoughts have manifested into form. Well, that's very interesting. So you might have been told that you are some kind of a healer or some kind of a psychic kind of healer in some way. Maybe people say that you're a very healing presence, with that kind of energy here and also here. That maybe you work in something that's related to healing, like maybe you want to be a doctor or a nurse or something, or you are already. So that could be like also part of it, or even healing the mind, like you might be like a therapist or psychologist or something. So that could be really, really interesting as well as part of just what you do or what you want to do. But it definitely feels like you have been doing the healing. You are also a healer. So I think it's like, kind of high time that you kind of lock in a little bit and stop being so doubtful of your opportunities. Like take the good opportunity because it's obviously meant for you, that kind of thing. So let's look at the forgiveness card as well. It says, let go of anger and resentment and feel yourself healed again. You don't need to forgive the action, just the person, so that you can be at peace. Okay, so maybe there is a little bit of forgiveness going on in terms of you need to forgive someone in your life or yourself. Maybe there was someone in your life, in your family or something, who, I don't know, like was always putting you down, didn't make you believe like you were worth any of this, and then you were sort of always doing it to like prove them wrong. And that's fine. You know, you don't have to forgive people and start talking to them again if you're no contact. I would never say do that. But I'm saying that maybe you need to forgive them in your own head and to be like, okay, well, I you obviously had a lot going on there. You know, you obviously had a lot of stuff that you inflicted on me for some reason. I forgive you, I guess, but like I don't have to be your best friend. You know, I don't have to talk to you again. But for my own sense of self, I'm gonna like let go of this because it's causing me a lot of harm. Maybe there's like always this need to like do better, do better, do better, and it's coming from this need of like, you know, feeling anger and like needing to heal from that. That could be part of it as well. I don't know. Maybe it's giving oldest daughter core. Oh yeah. But anyway, so it could be that. It could also be that you need to forgive yourself. Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you feel like bad, like that you're doing something, you know, that's taking up a lot of time. That you don't get to be around the people you love, or that you feel like you've had to make sacrifices for this, or it's taken you a long time, so you feel like guilty because you're like, I should have been doing this earlier, and now I feel like bad that I didn't do it when I was like 20 or whatever. Like I'm retraining or whatever it is. So just don't lay the blame at yourself. You know, I think, and also healing is a good thing for the next little while as well to kind of help you with making these decisions. Definitely this kind of Zen energy. There's a lot of Zen vibes going on in these readings today, but a lot of this kind of Hierophant vibe of like just needing to really truly figure out how to relax is a big thing as well. And then we have our cute little unicorn, and it says, you are gifted. I love that. It says, you are very intelligent and talented. Well, that's a really nice sign. I love that. Very, very direct also. So whatever it is that you want to do or you are doing, or whatever this opportunity is, you're there because you are gifted. You're there because you are talented and intelligent and you're good enough and you're smart enough. So why are you stressing out? Why do you have a little bit of that imposter syndrome? So yeah, so I feel like a lot of it is just basically saying that this is coming from some kind of childhood thing, and we need to just kind of acknowledge the fact that you have a lot of good stuff going on there, and also just that, you know, you need to calm down or else, and make the decision. I know it's difficult, it's hard to be decisive, but you need to kind of learn how to make that decision. Okay, so I'm going to pull from my little fun cards that I made myself. They're not really cards, but whatever they are. And it says, not this time. Okay, interesting. And then what's this next one? We'll do two. It's now or never. That's interesting. They seem kind of conflicting. It's saying not this time and also now or never. So it could be that it's not the time right now for you to like, I don't know, fully delve into all this stuff, or it's not the time right now for you to like forgive this person, or like in the way of like being their friend ever again. But I also like this it's now or never, because that for me feels like it's this kind of vibe of like you're gonna get over this eventually. So it's now or never. Like it's not this time for some of this stuff. Like we still got to kind of figure some of this out, but it's now or never in terms of your actual job. It's like you need to basically, I don't think I can swear in here, but you need to like, or get off the pot. You know what I mean? So like you need to make your choice. It's now or never. But some of that healing stuff can wait, like not this time, but like you can't wait until you're healed to have good things. You can't wait until you're healed to have the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. You're never going to be healed enough for that, or you're going to miss your window. It's now or never, right? So I think that's basically what it's saying. That's very, very interesting. Well, let me know what you think about it. I want to see what you think. I want to see what everyone's thinking about like this new format as well. So let me know about that too. If you like the kind of shorter, snappier readings, I think they're kind of fun, low key. But thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for everything. Part 2 or group 2. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi, group 3. This is your reading. So this is what's going on with your career. Okay, so we're going to start with some tarot. Right, interesting. Okay. There's a lot of this energy here of like needing to find some calm in the first card. I've noticed in the other readings as well. So what's going on with you guys? We also have these 2 angel cards and also a little unicorn as well. And then at the end, I'm going to do my little cards that I made myself with little like messages that you need to know. So could be a bit of anything, who knows? Right. So let's get into it. First of all, dun dun dun. Oh, eagle-eyed viewers will see. So we have we have the Magician to begin with. So we're starting off strong. We got 2 major arcanas. Actually, that's interesting too. But we have the Magician starting, and this energy is very much like trying to find that sense of balance. So whatever's going on in your life, maybe there's a work-life balance thing going on where you're just like, I can't do it all. You know, you're feeling a little bit like crumbly, like a little bit like I've been working very hard. I don't have a lot of time off. Maybe you have like family that's like stressing you out. Maybe you have like other commitments that's like stressing you out. You don't have any time for your hobbies. You don't have any time for other things in your life, to see your friends, go on dates, whatever it is. So it's just like, that kind of energy. So you're trying really hard to find the balance. This is someone who like is generally good at finding the balance, but with the tower immediately after it, I'm like, I don't think so. So maybe some of you do feel like you have the work life balance in check right now. Like maybe this is like an old reading as such, like this was how you were. But the majority, I'd say, are not really finding it that easy to keep the balance of their work life stuff going on. So although it is kind of technically a work reading, I think it's like also a life reading. Like there's sort of a sense of like something's got to give in this reading. We have the tower. Obviously, that's a bit of the elephant in the room, I suppose, here. Yeah, she's a drama queen. This one is quite a lot. This is that energy of like things falling down so that they can be rebuilt. It's actually really weird because I've been filming all day and I filmed a few other videos, and in the group 3 of another video I did also got the tower. So like what is it about the last possible moment that really said, hey, would you like this whole thing to fall apart? Like, okay, it's so dramatic. But anyway, so at the tower, yeah, it is this kind of vibe, but it's a little bit fatalistic. I don't really always prescribe to the notion that it's like the worst thing that's ever happened in your life, but it is this kind of energy of something is going to be, smushed down so that it can be rebuilt. So this could be you just have a bit of a breakdown in a sense, a bit of a meltdown because the work-life balance is not giving what it's supposed to be giving and it's really stressing you out or something like that. But what I always point out with this particular deck is that she's kind of smirking at us, right? This tower's down, there's smoke coming out of the tower. There's a little bit of magic coming out of her wand, and she's smirking at us. So, did she do it herself? Kind of seems like it. So, maybe that's kind of what's going on here with you, is that like you kind of knew it had to happen. You sort of knew that there was like this vibe of like, I had to change what's going on in terms of the work life balance, in terms of how much you're working, in terms of what's expected in you in work. So, like, you're trying to set some boundaries. So, whether that is received well or not, remains to be seen. There might be a sense of somebody taking advantage of you a little bit in terms of like, oh, they'll do it, they're always around, or you know like making you work extra hours. Maybe you're like an intern and you're kind of being made to do absolutely everything, even though it's not like part of your job description, or you're the new person and the same thing is going on, like you're doing loads of stuff for everybody and you're like, well, that's not what I got hired to be. Or the management is just run very badly or something. But it just seems like whatever it is, it's very taxing, it's very stressful, and something's got to give essentially. So that might mean quitting the job. That might mean changing the job. It might mean, I don't know, doing something to do with it, like calling it out or setting some really firm boundaries or something. But whatever it is, something has got to change. So, yeah. The next card we have here is the Six of Cups. So this energy is very much like, remember why you did this. So even though there's a lot of stress going on within your career, and this kind of something's got to give energy going on with the work-life balance, there is still this energy of like, remember why you did this. So it could be that whatever you do is fulfilling. It could be emotionally fulfilling for you. It could be healing your inner child in some way. Like maybe it's a dream you've always had and you're sort of like, well, what's the point of doing it now? Because it's clearly not what I think it is. Or it could be that you're healing or working with the next generation. You might be a teacher, you might be like a nurse or a doctor or something like that. But something that's definitely like to do with the next generation could be part of your job. And it is that vibe of like it being a vocation. So it's like, remember why you're doing this, remember why you wanted to be a teacher, like you wanted to help the minds of young children and teach them how to do things or whatever it is that you do. Or maybe it's like a long held dream that you had that's like for your inner self, your inner child. So yeah, very interesting. I think that, you have a lot to think of there. I think that there's sort of this of two minds thing going on right now with you in your job, because it's like, that they don't really value you, that it's very stressful and all of that stuff, but also it's something that you have wanted to do, and like even though it's bad, it's like maybe I should stick it out so then I can kind of like level it up in a little while, like kind of in The Devil Wears Prada, where it's like they have to work for Miranda for a year to get the reference for like their next job. So it's that kind of vibe where it's like maybe it's something like that where it's like you need to stick it out so that you can get a good reference, or I don't know, like maybe it'll be a good thing to have in your CV or your resume, like for your stepping stone or something. I don't know, but like it just seems like there's this kind of vibe of like, yeah, like I need to stay there because it's something I need to do, something I want to do, but it's not like what I want at the same time. It's kind of, sometimes when we get what we want, it is scary, it is confusing, it isn't actually what we want. There are bridges that you cross that you didn't know you crossed until you crossed them, as Glinda once said. But yeah, and I think with this card as well, this Five of Cups, there is this energy for sure of like, the disappointment of it, where it's like, this isn't what I pictured it to be. There's frustration there. It's not what you pictured it to be. Should I just stick it out, get the good reference? You know, it's all that kind of stuff. So there is still good stuff coming in, I think, relating to your career and also your life, like in general, because cups is kind of more of the emotional thing, like in general. But I definitely feel like right now you're in a very, or you're going to be in the next little while, a very stressed, frustrated, sort of disappointed kind of place. So it's unfortunate. It's not like the happiest of readings, to be honest. We get some nice things going on here, like we do, but for the tarot, they're a little bit sad, I'd say. So yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, you know, but I definitely feel like the thing I would say to hold on to is like the why you are doing it, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for other people, you know, there's got to be a why. And maybe it's not what you want as such now, but maybe you can stick it out for a little while, you know, just until you can get the good reference or whatever it is you need to get. But it just seems like you kind of just are in a weird position right now where things just aren't going as you plan them to go, essentially. So yeah, I'm sorry that you're going through that, but you know, I think things, well, I know everything will be okay because it does say so. So that's at least something. But let's have a look at the angel cards because they're kind of cute as well. They're kind of very, like it says new beginnings here, which makes a lot of sense with the tower. And then also enchantment, which is really sweet. So this new beginnings card, yeah, like obviously that's very all to do with literally a new beginning, a new start, something fresh. So that makes a lot of sense with what's going on here. And that definitely makes sense with this need you have for something to change and like something's got to give kind of energy I was talking about before. So this could definitely be like a really nice reminder that like even though it's not great right now, it's not going to be like that forever. So even if you do end up like leaving your job because of this tower stuff and you like decide to move on to do something new, and then it kind of, it could, you could read it that way that like you move on to do something fulfilling, but then it's like also stressful because maybe it's less money or something. It's still like a good opportunity for you because the new beginning is like very, very important, and it seems like something you really do genuinely want to do. And then we have enchantment. I'm just going to read what that says really quick from the guidebook. Hold on. Okay, so it says, recapture your childlike sense of wonder and awe. View the world as a magical place. That is so cute. I love that energy. That's really, really sweet. You got like loads of horse energy going on here too. Maybe you were a horse girl as a child. But that makes a lot of sense of what's going on here. If that is your inner child or that is working with children, this beautiful childlike wonder and viewing the world as a magical place thing, I think maybe that's something that you've kind of been missing from your life. Maybe there's a little bit of creativity there that's untapped. Or maybe if you do work as a teacher, maybe you're so stressed about the ins and outs of like, I don't know, the politics of the staff room or your principal or whatever, and you're actually like, you know what, actually it's so fun to just chill with the kids and like read to the kids if they're young or whatever it is. You know, I think that sometimes like being around children or having a childlike sense of fun and wonder is like the best medicine, because like it's never that deep. You know what I mean? It's never that deep around kids. Like you can just have fun with them. You can just like play or like kind of, I don't know, just be silly and stuff like that. And they're a pretty good audience. So maybe if there are some kids in your life that you maybe have been not seeing as much or not paying as much attention to, you know, go ahead and just have fun with them. Like truly just play and let loose and have fun. It doesn't matter about dinner. It doesn't matter about whatever. You know what I mean? Like just chill. Have a bit of fun. It doesn't always have to be so regimented and strict. And I think that that's what you're kind of learning with all this kind of tower stuff as well. Yeah, so I think it's a really nice little message for sure, like the enchantment of like trying to just find, you know, the fun in life as well amidst all this chaos too. And then we have our lovely message here from the unicorns. It just says like everything's gonna be okay, relax, everything's gonna be okay, don't worry, it's all gonna be fine. So if you want to even screenshot that right now, I think that would probably be where you need to be looking towards, because these cards are not telling me everything's going to be fine, but I know that it is going to be fine because this card is telling me that. So I think this is sort of your recipe to kind of getting there, to just like do what you actually want to do. You will find rewarding, like rewardment, I guess, in there. And just kind of like accept the new beginnings and, you know, view the world with more of a fun lens as childlike wonder and why you wanted to do it. And then just kind of like know and trust in the fact that everything will be okay, because like once you know and trust in that fact, it will be okay, right? Like as long as you have that, no one can take that from you. So that's really, really good. I'm gonna just pull some of these little fun cards I made. I don't know, they're just kind of entertaining. And it says, not again, which is interesting. What does this one say? Give it a season. Okay. So maybe that means you need to try things for just a little while until you kind of find your feet, or if you want to just like leave your job completely, just leave it for a little season, take a little sabbatical if that's something you can do. And the not again thing I think is very interesting, because maybe you've been through these kind of cycles before. Maybe even when I pulled that tower card, you were like, not again, and now it's like, here it is again. um yeah, so maybe this is a cycle that you've had a couple times, and maybe like now you're kind of officially, you know, getting out of it and going into that new beginning for real this time. Yeah, but it seems like you just kind of have to play it a little slow at this one. Give it a season, give it like 3 months to kind of just settle in, you to settle in, but also everyone else to kind of catch up around you. But relax, everything will be okay. Ultimately, don't worry. It's going to be fine regarding your career. I just think you just need a little bit of a change. You just need to kind of hear this little message, basically. So anyway, thank you so much, group 3. I hope that you really enjoyed this one, even though it was maybe not the most positive of messages. It was an interesting one, regardless, nonetheless. But I hope that you really enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I always appreciate so much everybody who views these videos and subscribes and likes and all that stuff. Let me know what you think of these. It's a little bit of a shorter form video. I think I like this a little bit better. It's a little bit more fun, I think, and less draggy. Nowadays, we all have kind of short attention spans, so maybe this suits you guys better. I don't know. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Mixcraft Misery. All the links will be below. I also have a website, mixcraftandmisery.com. If you'd like to book a reading with me privately, I do lots and lots of different readings, and I also do astrology. If that's something you're into, please give me a little follow, give me a little like, and book if you want to. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.